Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hello world, I'm Roberto Cordero and this is the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, gadget views, and answers that you can use.
Like an answer to the question, when is Chris coming to London? Well, that journey starts today. I'm first stopping by in San Francisco. This is all a part of ungroundedthinking.com, and I'll be documenting the entire trip. I expect to be able to meet up with you if you live in the UK or in the general London area. I realize the UK is not incredibly, tiny. It's not large. Okay, I'm not trying to offend anybody who lives in the UK. I'm just saying, I hope to have a meeting point in place somewhere in London, and that link, as soon as I find out, will be shared in all my social feeds. So stay tuned, and be sure to follow me everywhere, except for when you're, meeting with me in real life. Don't follow me then, because I might think you're a creeper. Especially if you're wearing a creeper mask. I don't play Minecraft. I just know that happens to be a thing. Running concurrent with Apple's announcements yesterday came announcements out of E3, which I did not attend. I don't plan on attending because, again, I'm going to London. London, E3, I'm going to have to go with London on this one. Details for the Xbox One availability have surfaced. It'll be available for $499 here in the US, or a weird L with a line in the middle of it, $429 GBP in the UK. I think that's a pound. Or a really weird C with two lines in it, EUR. That's for the rest of the European market. It'll feature a 500 gigabyte hard drive, one Blu-ray player, and built-in Wi-Fi, the new Kinect, the Xbox One wireless controller, and a free 14-day trial of Xbox Live Gold for new members. Okay, not bad. So, Sony, what do you have up your sleeve? So, Xbox has already taken a lot of slack for not supporting a lot of legacy games, and Sony will support legacy games, including used games. So, it's cheaper and a lot more friendly for gamers. Some Xbox players may very well be switching to the PS4. Me? Nah, I'm not switching. I'm not a gamer. You guys know that. I think that both systems have their own merits, and the fact that both of them can play back Blu-ray drives. I can't play back a Blu-ray drive. They have Blu-ray drives. I'm just saying, it may be a tough decision, and for some of you, that may come down to finances. Which one will you choose, and why? Maybe I won't choose one over the other, but end up getting both. And if you want to get Microsoft's Xbox One, I've got a link for you in this video's description. Or head over to go.tagjag.com/Xbox1, O-N-E. Would you rather talk about iPhone cases at a discount? Okay. How about the leverage case for iPhone 5, which is the modular case that you would want to get? Unless, of course, you're a dog who uses Android. We can score you a 27% discount on one on deals.lockergnome.com. Looking for a cheap iPad? Over on www.lockergnome.com, we've got a list to where you can buy cheap iPads. I mean, they're still iPads, but I'm saying that the cheapest online retailers. They're not cheap. They sell iPads at a lower price than where you could normally get them. I know what you're thinking. eBay, Apple, Amazon, and you'd be right. Don't pay full price for anything, man. I mean, you might as well just get a bargain, especially if you're buying either a refurb, which would work just fine, 9 times out of 10, and if you just get a previous generation, which, you may not be excited about that, but hey, if you want to save money, there's really no better way of doing it sometimes. My choice out of all of them, Amazon. I get most everything online through them, and I like earning free Amazon points using software on either Android or iOS. Go.tagjag.com/free points, or, no, not just or, and go.tagjag.com/free apps. Those links are also in the video's description, and they work very well. I mean, why would you want to pay for things on Amazon if someone's willing to give you free gift cards for downloading sponsored apps to your smartphone? Oh, I know. You want to pay full price. Okay, fine. If you wanted to pay full price for the 3-in-1 camera connection kit for iPad, you'd be my guest, but I can save you 51% on one of these 3-in-1 camera connection kits for iPad, again, on deals.lockergnome.com. And before anybody claims this is a huge advertisement, well, okay, would you rather me not tell you how to save money on gadgets that you might want to buy anyway? Seriously, I really don't know what you would want me to do. Do I not say anything? That's not a good idea. Another hot topic on LockerGnome.net happens to be, what digital camera should I buy? I don't know if you really sound that way in real life, but I will tell you that Ryan Pearson has given his comparison between the Sony NEX6LB versus the Sony NEX5N. Ryan points out that the Sony NEX5N lacks a digital viewfinder, which to me would kind of be a deal breaker. Although wait, the Sony NEX5N gives you a touchscreen. This is a hard decision to make. Oh wait, okay, I think this is the feature I'd want. Autofocus is also enhanced with the Sony NEX6. You have 99 autofocus points compared to the 25 included with the Sony NEX5N. Well, they're both good cameras, but depending on the type of features you want, well, you're going to have to make up your mind which is better for you. Of course, as always, we're happy to help you make that decision. ArsTechnica.com has posted early screenshots of what Intel is working on, a new UI overlay codenamed Obsidian, which they may be bringing to Tizen and Android. The link to where you could view these screenshots on your own computer or tablet, which I guess is still a computer, or even smartphone, that's a computer too. Well, the link is in this video's description. And before I address the title question today, what do you think of iOS 7? I'm going to give you further thoughts, putting a finer point on the TLDR I did yesterday, a 40-minute TLDR. Did you guys even watch that whole thing? Anyway, let me remind you that the Locker Gnome Daily Report is supported by GoToMeeting with HD Faces. Escape the office this summer and stay connected to your team. Use GoToMeeting by Citrix, the powerfully simple way to meet online. Share the same screen to collaborate in real time. Turn on your webcam to see each other in HD video. Launch or join a meeting using your computer, smartphone, or tablet. We're going to be using GoToMeeting as I'm traveling overseas to be able to meet with people who I'm working with back here in the States. And GoToMeeting is really simple, and as far as I'm concerned, I can use it anywhere, so long as I have an internet connection. You can try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Perillo. So back to that question, what do you think about iOS 7? I haven't used it yet, and admittedly, it's only available for developers. And yes, you can sign up for a developer account, and I'm sure many of you already have, to put it on your devices. I would like to put iOS 7 on my iPad mini. I would put it on an iPod Touch, it's just that I don't have an iPod Touch, so I really can't. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time before I have to head out, so all of my look-sees on iOS 7 early builds are going to have to wait a little while. Hopefully, one person out in the UK is going to have iOS 7 on one of their devices, and I'll be able to play with it and give you my true thoughts. All I have to tell you is based on the experience I've seen out there on the web with either the live stream from Apple or potentially screenshots and further deep dives posted to various blogs and YouTube channels. And I'm not going to say that the icon ethos is growing on me. That's not the case at all. I kind of wish Apple would pay attention to some user feedback, because apparently I am not the only one who thinks that the icon design team needs a refresh themselves. I like many of the UI and UX changes that Apple's going to be introducing in iOS 7. I just don't know if I appreciate or really believe that they've finished the design of the icons yet. I don't know, maybe I'm just annoyed by all the blue icons. They just seem to be too blue. Like annoying bright blue mixed with cyan. You didn't even know that cyan was a color. In fact, my first experience with cyan as a color was through a black and white television screen connected to a Commodore VIC-20. Or vice versa, the VIC-20 was connected to the... Anyway, I knew cyan was a color, it just looked kind of like a light gray to me. When in reality, it's light blue. iOS 7 is definitely going for a visual refresh. UX seems to work fine, every animation seems to be fluid, but the icons, man. The icons. And now that I know that many people out there don't like the icons as much as I don't like the icons, well, I can only imagine Apple may change them before finally releasing. So I reserve ultimate judgment over what my feelings are, what I think about iOS 7, as should you, until we use it. That said, I am very excited to see all the new features and implementation of those features, because that's where Apple shines. Not just the features, but the implementation. So long as my phone stays responsive, I'll be happy. I'm not going to go as far as to compare iOS 7 to Windows Vista's Aero transparencies, because, they really worked for different reasons and in different ways. Yes, they were translucent, but, I don't think this is like Vista at all. And I'm also not going to go as far as to say that this is a catastrophic mistake to release the icons in their current form. Not as catastrophic as, say, eliminating the Start button and confusing people between two UXs inside of Windows 8. You gotta remember that Apple's iOS is tied to Apple's cash cow, iPad. I mean, yes, they make money with all iOS devices. I'm just saying the iPad is a hot seller. So they have all these users out there. They need to move that OS forward just a bit. They need to make changes. They want to be radical, but also be familiar. And they even mentioned that, in a roundabout way yesterday. They gotta make sure that people feel safe even in upgrading to iOS 7, because it really does look different. Maybe I'll get used to the icons. Or maybe Google paid Apple to make that Safari icon so fugly in iOS 7 that users would be prompted to use Google Chrome as their browser there in the tray. I'm not saying that Apple's going the wrong way. I'm not saying I'm going to switch outright, because you know what? It takes a lot more than just a fugly icon to kick me out. There are a lot of things to consider, and I hope that Apple is listening and will make appropriate adjustments before this ships. So if I handed the phone to my dad, I don't think he's going to make another viral video of being confused over iOS 7. He may actually like the design of the new icons. Seriously, this is, of all times, why didn't they do some kind of group study? I know I keep hammering on the icons. There's so many other features to look at, new features, and better implementation of old features in iOS 7. And since I covered a series of Apple's announcements in yesterday's TLDR, I wanted to dive in specifically on iOS 7 today. So let me ask you specifically about iOS 7. What do you think from what you've seen? Or if you've used it, what do you like? What do you not like? What are you not seeing anybody else cover out there? You know, smaller features that you think are really kind of neat. Or existing bugs that Apple's yet to fix. And that's the thing. Bugs exist on every platform. Apple's not immune to that. iOS 7 looks to have a good set of features, a solid UX, but the UI needs a bit more refinement. But again, I haven't used it in person, so I can't speak from experience. I gotta be careful. I can only tell you what I think now. Maybe my thoughts will change after. I think the thing I'm most happy about is that Apple's going to be addressing performance issues, which is kind of a big deal. I can certainly tell you I would not dare install a beta version of iOS on my primary phone, which happens to be an iPhone. Yes, I plan on getting the next iPhone and iPad, but I also plan on getting the next series of Nexus devices from Google. I know. You want me to pick a side, but I don't wanna. But what you can do is appreciate the fact that I'm talking to you today about things that you care about. Thank you for remembering to like, comment, and share the things we're doing for you with other people, because that's how our community grows and flourishes, and I hope to goodness that I'm able to meet you face-to-face in real life someday, whether it's in London, Seattle, or somewhere in between. We'll see you later.